I didn't think that women really cheated. And I mean that, like, my whole life, when I really started to grow up, like, I was like, women don't cheat like that. They be in love, like, they be in relate. No, bro. These women be
Early on, you think that all the bad things that happen in a relationship, the man's doing. Women aren't capable of doing stuff like that. Women are incredibly loving and empathetic. Start dating women, and you're around them more, and you're like, yo, these women can do bad, like plenty.
Women be fing. They're just as bad as us. They're just way smarter at hiding it and don't want to brag about it, except to a few people. I've been one of those few people. So I grew up around a household full of women. They talk real loose around me when I, younger. A lot of women have, for good reason, have friend zoned me and then like exposed everything. They tell me everything. Like I'm one of the girls, which I understand, but people want to tell me their business, especially women. And so they told me their darkest secrets. And let me tell you something, you got to get them off a pedestal. They're just as fallible and can be just as corrupt and dark as any man. Think of the worst. Think of the spectrum of all the men you've ever met. From the dirtiest, grimiest, grossest fucking pig asshole person you've ever met, who's laughing about all their exploits and everything they've ever done to other people, to the greatest people you've ever met, the heroes, the people who are as close to a divine figure as possible, right? Your best, your worst, all the way to your best people that you've ever met, and that's women too. They're just as fallible. They have all the same, and why wouldn't they, right? Why wouldn't they have those faults? They have testosterone. They don't have as much as we do. So they have the same desires, the same weaknesses, everything that we do. And so now it's just coming out now, right? It's just in a position where it's just coming out, and it's just out in the open in the Western world. That's what's happening. It's just like that stuff's always been there. It's always been happening, but now it's like it's accepted in this current iteration of culture. That's what's happening. So just get them off a pedestal. I'm not saying, I love women, but don't put them on a pedestal because they're just as fallible, have all the same weaknesses, have the same spectrum of good and bad and ugly that any man you've ever met has. And I'm speaking from somebody who's been on the inside of it, from my relatives to my best friends to even spouses. Like they have all the same quirks and vulnerabilities and weaknesses and desires that we have. Just get them off a pedestal. I think that the mistake that we make is that we put them on this pedestal because they're mothers and we look up to that role as of a mother, right? But even mothers have the same fallibility and same desires and same weaknesses that any man you've ever met has. You need to yank them off that pedestal and realize they have the same features that we do. I think that a lot of it's getting exposed now because our culture just like is more cool with it. But it took me a while to fully accept that because of the roles that women are put in, right? As mothers, as caretakers, as nurturers, right? And for me, I'd always put them in that category of like on this pedestal. But what woke me up, I think, was some friends, some very close women friends of mine told me some shit they did, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I couldn't believe it. It was the same type of shit that the grimiest dude would tell me that they did and laugh about it. And they were doing the same thing. I'm like, I couldn't believe it, Get them off the pedestal. I'm not saying treat them bad or anything like that. I'm just saying, if you're looking for some kind of saint or some kind of natural nurturer or something like that, that shit's rare. And when you're looking, don't expect them to be on some kind of a higher level of morality or something like that as men. No, they have the same faults that we do, and just keep that in mind at all times.